Hi guys, this is Lachette from Scarlet Creations, and I'm back with a new video. This is my reading a 500-page book in one day reading vlog. So this is another HRCYED vlog. The hardest reading challenge you will ever do. Links in the description to the announcement video and explanation for all of that. I'll have like 19, 20 of these over the next year or so coming out as I complete the 25 prompts. Several of them I'm putting together into combination videos. Others are not going to be vlogs, but more like listing videos. Those are mostly, I think, going to be the purple challenges. Here, lower so you can see it is my bingo board, and the one I'm working on today is the 500 plus pages in a day. And alright, so that is to pick any book that is over 500 pages long and spend an entire day reading it. Yes, you may use audiobooks, you can even use graphic novels, just as long as the page count says 500 or more, you are in the clear. So the book I picked is one I've been trying to read for a long time. The chunky guy. It is a manga. I'm trying not to lose my page because I didn't pick out a bookmark yet. Okay, this is a really light colored cover and it's really bright in my room right now, so bear with me. This is Wolf Children, Ami and Yuki. Might even watch the movie. Okay, I started it at 11 a.m. this morning and I am already 196 pages in. So I am considering combining this prompt with another one that says to read 3 books in 24 hours. One of the books has to be a novel. So we'll see. But yeah, I didn't wait to get dressed or anything because I realized like in 45 minutes I read 196 pages and didn't talk about it or anything. But I am awake now even though I'm not dressed for the day, so bear with me. Some background on this. I did not know this book would be this long. Let me use the bookmark I was going to use for this other book. Okay. So, alright. This was a pick, I think, last year for the BTS book club. And the original story is by Mamoru Hosoda, the art by Yu, and character design by Yoshiyuki and Sadamoto. Basically, we're following a woman who has 2 children that can turn into wolves, and that's awesome. So there's a fantastical element, but they're in like the real world or whatever. And yeah, she's young. She was in college when she met their father, and they got together, and he was the last of his kind. And then in the years they were together, they had 2 children, and then one day he's accidentally killed. So now she has to raise these 2 children who can also turn into wolves with no help and not very much information about their kind because he was the last of their kind. And it seems like he thought he had time to explain things to her and the kids about, you know, being a wolf child. and he didn't. So there's that sad element. Um, so yeah, I requested this last year, and it took over a year to get to me. And then I missed it because I wasn't expecting it to suddenly be available to me. So I requested it again, and it came back fairly quickly. So the month that I'm talking to you is September. 30 and 30 manga challenge is happening. Also, the Mystic read along, and I'm on Team Werewolf. And one of the prompts is to read a book with shapeshifters. This counts. But anyway, when I picked this up, I was not expecting this chunky monkey, and the length of it, I'm not sure, but just so you know, I put it on the screen here. Like, the final chapter starts on page 511. Not every page is numbered in manga. Quite often, none of them are. Or only, they'll tell you in the table of contents what page the start of each chapter is, but the other pages won't have anything. So the last numbered page is 538. So definitely counts. I figured I would take a Sunday, because you never know with manga how dense the text will be, and I didn't know what genre this was or anything like that at the time, because it was a book club pick that I just left on my holds for over a year. But yeah, definitely counts. I feel confident now that I can finish it today, and possibly read something else as well. What else did I want to say? Oh, so I did some research. Manga are not normally this thick. So one thing I found out is this was based off of an animated movie in Japan. So I was a little wary about that as well. I've read others like this thanks to the BTS book club, and have found that as much as I enjoyed the manga, when I go and watch the movie, it's just better. Which I'm not used to. But yeah, when the anime comes out first, especially an animated movie, it's different. And then they make a manga to fit everything that was in the movie, and it seems like, at least for the book club picks that people are suggesting in the BTS book club, the cinematography is so amazing. The artwork and the animation is absolutely mind-blowing. It's just beautiful to the eyes, and the manga can't quite hold up to that. But I did check. This movie is only available on Crunchyroll, which I do not have, and Prime Video with subscription, which I think I do have. So I'll see if I can watch it and include it in this vlog. So I stopped in the beginning of volume 2. So I think originally this was released in 3 volumes, so it will count as 3 volumes for the readathons I'm doing right now. And the family, after the father has died and the mom, Hannah, has realized, like, she can't take care of 2 kids under the age of 5 who turn into wolves when they feel like it and have wolf-like instincts, and she doesn't know what to expect from them in the city where she works and lives, because there are expectations for parents and children that she can't meet. And like towards the end, people were coming to they were like, man, we might have to write you up for abuse. And her neighbors were complaining that she has a dog because the kids were howling, and they were like, we can hear it. And the landlord was like, you're gonna have to move if you don't want to follow the rules, because you can't have pets in this housing complex. So things like that. I'm like, damn, that sucks. And she's a young mom. Like I said, she was in university, so like she's in her early 20s now, doing it by herself. She can't go to work because she can't leave her kids with other people. So now in volume 2, they've moved out to the countryside, and there's no close neighbors, but it's also space for the kids to run around and like be wild. However, again, she doesn't work. She has savings, so she has to figure out how she's gonna feed them. She's thinking about like farming, like having a family farm, but she hasn't done that before. I've gotten to a very amusing part, and that's why I was like, let me stop here because I want to talk about this. Right? Like I said, she's in the country right now. She bought like this old, dilapidated house that needs a lot of work, and there's a lot of land. And the realtor was like, are you serious? So like, there's a small town, but it's like 30-40 minutes away. And so, you know, as small towns do, they kind of gossip about her, because it's like, why is this strange lady moving here with her 2 really young kids and there's no one else around? And where's her husband? Because that's always a question, right? And I guess, like, there are neighbors, but they're not like house neighbors. What does that mean? Like, their lands are abutting each other, right? But like the house is somewhere in the land, that kind of thing. But it seems that, but she, oh, okay, I figured it out. So I was like, how did this old man see her? She went grocery shopping, and they were gossiping about her and the kids in the town, and the old man saw her. He just pops up out of nowhere. Is that what it is? Yes, he's driving by in his pickup truck, and he just starts like telling her she's doing it wrong with the planting of seeds and stuff, and then drives away. Like, and he says it like very crotchety old man, right? And he shows up, he starts showing up every once in a while, right? His wife arrives one day and gives her some seed potatoes. And I've heard of those before, but I'm learning, along with Hannah, like, it's not obvious how you're supposed to use those. But it's so funny. And the wife is like, oh, don't mind him, he's not so bad, right? So yeah, he just shows up every once in a while and is ordering her around, like how she's supposed to dig trenches, and how deeply she's supposed to plant seeds or the seed potatoes, and how she's supposed to hoe or plow. No hello, no goodbye, no you're welcome. So now where I stopped at, these 2 other old men just show up out of the blue. Like, literally, they pop up out of the hedges, and they're just staring at her while she's out there. And one of them offers her some chamomile and some cabbage, and is like, you plant them together and they support each other, like, it's companion planting. And then the other one's like, no, she shouldn't use chamomile, she should use a different plant. So they're just like bickering among each other, and she's standing there like, what? Who are you? Right? And then they proceed to, like, she takes the plants and she's trying to plant them, but they're giving her advice, but it's conflicting advice. This is two random old men, and they're arguing with each other, but the whole point of them being there is to be helpful, but them arguing and having opposite opinions about how she's supposed to do something that she's never done before is hilarious. Because, like, what is she supposed to do? It's so weird. It's so weird. I'll come back. I think I'll update at the end of this volume, and then at the end of the book. So, I have just finished section 2, the second volume. If you don't believe me, I will show you the words from the artist there. Says, are there you here? This is the second volume. And Ami and Yuki are really growing up. I've been drawing them sort of half happy, half sad to this fact. Anyway, also there's this. It's like, see you in volume 3. We'll meet again in volume 3. So, like, there's an extra at the end, like many manga are, and it's a little extra story that's only a page or two. And yeah, so that was like 330, 332. There's then there's words from the artist about volume 3 here. It says, this is the final volume. Since this was my first serialization, I was often a little lost. There were tons of difficult things and happy moments. I hope that Wolf Children, Ami, and Yuki ends up being one of those works loved through the ages. So yeah, they are growing up. We kind of ended with a cliffhanger here, so I am rather glad this is a bind-up of all 3 volumes, because yeah, I guess technically the last volume 1 also ended on a cliffhanger, but not really. Anyway, like I was like, oh, you know, I'll go shower after this, but yo, I'm finished. I cried. I thought this woman was dying or dead. But it's done, and I will come back later to give my final thoughts, and we'll see if this vlog continues to be something else. Alright guys, I'm back. I'm dressed. And let's talk about Wolf Children, Ami and Yuki. Wow. So, I don't know what I'm gonna give this. Excuse me. I didn't know what I was getting into when I started it. It kind of has a slice of life feel with the little bit of fantastical element. Like, what would a woman do if she had two children biologically who could turn into wolves, and she had no information about how to raise them. I don't think I mentioned this, but this is from Yuki, the daughter's point of view. It's all written from her point of view of what her mother has told her when she was too young to remember, and what she does remember when she got old enough. It's about a 13-year span. Maybe a little longer, because we get like how the mom met the dad and all of that stuff. So it doesn't start when Yuki is born. She's the oldest. Very interesting how each of the three of them change over the course of the story. There is a character arc, there is some character growth, and one in particular, it did make me sad at the end. The children make different choices in their lives, for their lives, and not necessarily what their mother would want, and that happens several times over the course of the story. Not necessarily what they would want for each other either. And how the three of them can live in this world when they're the only ones like themselves, essentially. But you realize in the second volume that they have choices. Well, no, I guess you realize that in the first volume that they have choices. Like the mom, it takes her a while to realize. It's like, we can move out to the countryside and maybe that's better. I wish we got to see how she came to that conclusion. It might have been forced, like, because of circumstances. Like I said earlier, she had people knocking on her door, like, you can't live here if you have a dog, and I might have to write you up for being neglectful or abusive to your children. And it's like, okay, we can't stay here. Where are we gonna go? But yeah, very interesting. I appreciated everything in this. I guess the way I rate books is personal, right? I put me first, my enjoyment and my liking of it is the biggest priority, whether there's issues or problems or whatever. I can't think of the word. Problematic material, if there is or not. That's up to the individual. There's nothing really problematic in this. I guess I would call it like hurt comfort as well. I want to say 4 stars because this had me in my feels, and I'm not surprised, having found out that it was a movie first and then made into a manga. Like, adaptations happen because a lot of people enjoyed something, so there's that. And I feel like the original creator, Mamoru Hosoda, who wrote the original screenplay for the movie, really did a great job with that. And the artwork is super cute, and you see the emotions and the seasons and body language. It's all great. I feel like there's no reason for this not to be a 5-star, except I'm not sure I want to reread. but I don't think I don't. So maybe 4.5. And then I changed my I could change my mind later. I mean, it would be a quick reread, obviously. But yeah, so that's that on this book. I mentioned in the beginning I might combine this with another prompt for HRCYED, but I realized I can't do that because neither one are purple prompts. So that is my 500 plus page book read in a day prompt done. I appreciate that, and I'm just gonna move on to my next book. Guys, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you are new, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. Links in the description to everything I've mentioned, and links to my Storygraph and Goodreads accounts if you'd like to follow me anywhere else, and my Twitter and Instagram as well. As a 10% off discount code to my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products for magical and mundane purposes. And there's also a link to my Patreon where I have various tiers of different content, but the grapefruit tier is specifically for exclusive bookish videos and content. So do go check that out if you find it interesting. And guys, that is it for me today. Thank you as always so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.